Go ahead with questions.
Hey, Coach, it's Trevor Gross from CUTigers.com. Obviously, Aamir was sensational tonight, and you knew you had to have his A game to beat Purdue after he played just 8 minutes last night. But how special was his performance tonight?
Yeah, it was terrific. You know, we knew that they were going to cause a lot of problems for us with their size under the basket, and we kind of made a decision that we were going to really not trap as much in this game because their three-point shooting was so good. And we thought that, hey, we can rotate, 4 bodies in there if we have to, if it gets close with fouls. And then on the offensive end, we really felt like Aamir would be able to do some different things with the matchup to help us. Obviously, when the big kid was in there, we really wanted to move him around, play out on the perimeter. I thought he did some great things there. Then there were some times against Williams that we posted him, and, he was effective playing out of the post. So, that's what makes him a really good player is he can score in different ways in different spaces. And, his matchup was hard for them in different ways. Their way was more physical. His was just being more of a well-rounded basketball player, and he was outstanding.
Why do you think he was able to be so effective defensively tonight and yet still stay out of foul trouble?
Well, I thought we tried to front the post some. We wanted to, not just get caught on the side. We didn't want to get caught behind. We knew that it was going to happen some. They're really hard to guard. They run some terrific half-court offense. And obviously they've got 2 post players that can both score with their back to the basket. And with, the hard part is they got 2 to 3 guys on the perimeter that can all make, 4, 5, 6 threes in a game. So, you got to pick your poison. It's not like you can just help off one guy or scratch. You got to give them different looks. And, obviously the pressure that we applied, I thought in the first half was the difference. That was our, way of trying to keep the ball out of the post was to just try to pressure their perimeter players and get them out of rhythm and not let them make as many catches in good feeding positions. And I thought our guards did an unbelievable job of working them and making catches hard.
Brad, it's Matt. Just how pleased are you with the way your team played, not only tonight, but last night as well, and coming down and winning this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really happy for the players because I've seen how much they've dealt with since the end of last season. And, the kind of effort that these kids have given every day in practice and the way they're competing and the sacrifices they're making to try to have a season. They've been unbelievable. We've been fortunate that we haven't, our team hasn't had much COVID, so we've been able to have some practices, have a little bit of consistency. And I think it showed. Last night we didn't execute very well. We didn't make a lot of open shots. We were nervous. Tonight we were a little more ready to go. I thought we were settled into the game a little bit better. We still had some nervous plays and some quick shooting and things of that nature that comes with, just excitement and, enthusiasm for play. But the effort, again, was unbelievable. And obviously that's a big thing with this team. We're not the biggest team, but I do think we have a lot of guys who are good players that can apply some pressure and do some different things defensively.
Hey, Coach Lawton Swan, you guys clearly showed your competitive depth, maybe more so than depth. How beneficial do you think that'll be for you guys moving forward with the practices, et cetera, throughout the campaign?
Yeah, staying healthy is really important. And we've had a few things with Chase Hunter and John Newman, especially. Those 2 guys have probably had the most challenging fall for us. John had some knee issues and then a concussion. Chase obviously had the broken finger, and it's just really hard getting in and out of practice. And, the train's always moving, and, it doesn't slow down during the season. You got to keep up. And when you're injured and you miss, a couple of weeks, Chase missed 5, it's hard to come back and just be ready. And not only with all the information that's happened, especially early in a season when you're putting things in all the time, but just the reps and the pace of it. And so, one of the reasons our team is getting better is because we practice against each other every day. We haven't been able to do it as well. Certain seasons we've had injuries and we haven't had as much depth. And so we're always practicing against like a scout team. And it's just not as good when you don't practice good on good a little bit. And so we're practicing more good on good. I think that shows, and I think it's made our players more competitive and hungry.
Coach,
Hey, Brad,
it's
it's Steve
Trevor again.
Hornblue.
Seemed like you
To
were
open 2-0 as you have against the SEC and the Big Ten versus, say, winning the first two games against opponents that you're just so much better than. How does that feel? And what does it say about your team and the momentum now that you've got going here after the first couple of games?
I think it says we have a chance to have a good season. There's no doubt about it. I think we were all optimistic, but it's a long race, especially in 2020. I've said for the last 2 weeks how nervous I am about our team because of what's going on with COVID. And, I'm hopeful and I know our guys are really trying, but it's very rewarding. The first thing was just to play. I think we're all thankful and feel blessed to be back coaching and playing and doing what we love and watching these guys be successful and having fun and the camaraderie that comes with being on a team and caring about one another and having something that's bigger than yourself to be a part of. I think that's why we coach. I think it's why kids play. And it's why it was so hard for them when they were all in quarantine back in their hometowns and couldn't be together. And so to be able to do that has been fun, very rewarding. And then you're excited about your team and what it means. We still got a lot of room for growth and got a lot of guys that can get better, but we have some potential. Other teams are still, these are first games for everybody. So we're not all at our best right now, but we beat two competitive, physically demanding teams and played a very tenacious style to do it. So I'm really proud of our guys.
Coach, it's Trevor again. You seem to be really good in transition tonight, maybe more so in years past.
Well, I think some of that has to do with just having more bodies. We didn't do as good a job of that last night when I went back and watched the film. And I know it's hard sometimes rebounding, but we've got to get out and we got to get a few easy baskets, whether it's, knocking a ball loose in transition, whether it's getting a rebound and playing in the open court. And you got to have fresh bodies to be able to kind of keep your pace up. I think sometimes, we're so demanding with the guys on the defensive end that they can rest on offense, and they do sometimes. They don't cut and move in our half court offense, or, they don't sprint and transition to try to get in position for hit aheads. And we made that a huge key. That was one of our offensive keys: rebound and deflect to run. Get out early, try to play ahead of the defense occasionally. Initially in the game, we purposefully didn't call very many plays the first 6 to 8 minutes because we just want our guys to play. Just go play, run our flow, get movement, and we didn't want them to think too much. And I thought that really helped us. It simplified some things on offense, and it allowed us to focus on being aggressive defensively. So, we've got to do some of that. If we're going to play 10 or 11 guys, then it's almost like if you come to the sideline and you're not exhausted, then, my thing was play it until you're uncomfortable. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not playing hard enough tonight. And so there's no reason not to be uncomfortable when you got this many other guys that can go in. And that's what our team did.
Brad, once Purdue cut it, or I think tied it at 48, just how big was that three-pointer by Baehre, and what did you see from him tonight?
Big shot. I thought it was a big shot. And, I'm just anxious to see him be involved in those kinds of situations. We still got to get him to rebound better. He's not rebounding the ball at the rate that we would like. I think there's still a little bit of concern, to be honest with you. I think he's a little timid at times with the knee, which is, if I had 2 ACLs, I probably would be also. He was almost a little timid on that play in transition when he got the 3-point play, when he was running and Aamir hit him in stride, and he got hit a little bit. He was a little bit one of those where you're off balance and he's putting some weight on his knee, and he had to finish, and he made it. So you can see that every once in a while, and I kind of check with him all the time to make sure he's okay. But I thought he was a difference maker in the second half. His length is a big advantage for us to have another guy with some length out there, since Amir's not quite as big. And then if he can make some threes and help stretch it, that really helps our team offensively.
And speaking of making threes, is Nick Honor a guy that you really just feel comfortable with his green light and his ability to knock down?
Absolutely. We knew that when we recruited him, that's what he is. He's a guy that can shoot shots, and it's crazy. I don't know if he missed his first 4 or 5 in the tournament. He kept coming over, and I just kept telling him, keep shooting, buddy, keep shooting. As long as they're good shots, we want you shooting. Don't get timid. That's not how we're playing. We're not playing that way. And I think it gave him some juice, and then he made a couple, and that was big in yesterday's game because we couldn't make any. And then today he was ready to go. And I started him today. I've told our guys, it really doesn't matter who starts on our team this year. That's, we were doing it for matchup situation. And Al handled it great. And then Al comes in and he plays phenomenal. So that was really good to see. And just as you asked earlier, Nick is a guy who's going to help our team because he definitely can shoot the basketball.
Coach, it's Trevor again. PJ played just 1 minute in the first half. I know he had that early foul, but just what was the thought process there? He finished with 8 minutes, but he was 2 for 3 from the field with 5 points.
I think he got into some foul trouble, and we had Aamir with a foul or two, a couple fouls, and then we were worried about PJ getting in foul trouble. I didn't want to get that far out of it. I got to keep somebody for the end. You sometimes got to hold some guys just to hang in there, and the game obviously wasn't going to be won or lost at that point. He did what he needed to do for us. Obviously, Aamir was big and playing great tonight, and this was a game that we were playing up and down with speed. We weren't going to play the two big guys together. And, I've told you, I don't know that we'll do that much. We'll see how it goes. But PJ did fine. He made a big shot at the free throw line. He's still a young guy that's got a lot to learn, and he's learning every day, and he works hard, and he's got a great mentor in Aamir Simms. So yesterday was his day. Today was Amir's.
Probably have time.
He's
more.
Brad, what do you feel like you learned about your team down in Florida the last few days?
Well, I think it confirmed what I thought, which is that we got a competitive group that really cares about each other and cares about winning and doing the right things. And they're a pleasure to be around because of that. Those guys, they're great kids, and just to watch them compete in a competitive environment and to go through a little adversity with not, you're not shooting the ball well, you're not having a good offensive game, but you still hang in there and fight and just figure out a way to win. That's when you're even more proud as a coach. I think it's easy when you're making threes and everything's going good, you're stealing the ball and dunking it. It's easy to be excited and to be up. But when you're grinding it out like we did last night, and it's a war and it's no fun because there's no easy baskets to be had, you find out what kind of guys you got. And I'm really proud of these guys. They battled for 2 hard days, and we wore those teams down, and that's what we needed to do, and that's what we were able to do in these two games.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes, Coach.